Miss, I pick number 9. How much money do students spend on a daily basis?
Okay.
Good night, miss.
Good night. Okay. So, how are you, Alj?
I'm all right, miss.
Okay.
How are you, miss?
I am good, thank you. I'm not good, I have a cold. So you might see me, hear me drawing up and stuff. I have a cold,
Just a
right?
minute, miss. Just a minute, miss. Let me get my mask.
Okay, okay, okay. You're gonna catch a cold through the phone, child. All right. So, Cynthia is just get selecting her topic. Let me see if I can put the topics on screen. Welcome to everyone joining on YouTube. It's a pleasure being here with you again. We did promise that we would have been back sooner than today, but we are just getting back. All right. So Cynthia is just selecting her topic. We're going to be putting the topics on the screen so you can have a look at topics if you haven't selected your topic. These topics were shared with me by another student, so they are not. Hold on, are these the ones? Oh, I think I'm the one that compiled this list. Yes, this is not the list I sent you, Cynthia. No, no. Okay, so
Miss,
this list I compiled. So I'm going to share the list that I compiled with you. So there goes the list. And if you're just starting, then that's an opportunity for you to actually select a topic. Okay. If you send me an email at Mathematics Resource Center, then I will be able to send you a copy of this list. I've also gotten a second list that Cynthia has just selected her topic from. Okay. So this second list was shared with me by a student. So I did not compile this list. So this list was not compiled by Mathematics Resource Center. So we don't take ownership of this at all. So this is a second list that we have and that was shared with us. Okay. So if you send me an email at mathematicsresourcecenter@gmail.com, then I'll be able to share this list with you and you can go ahead and start choosing your topic if you haven't done so as yet. Especially if you're in year 10, it's a good time to start. So this one is what Cynthia chose. How much money is this the one that you chose, Cynthia? Can you see my screen, Cynthia? Cynthia,
Yes, Miss.
are you seeing my screen?
Yes, Miss, I am.
Okay, is that the one that you chose?
Yes.
Okay, good. All right. So how much money do students spend on a daily basis? Okay, so we're going to make some adjustment to this question. So just give me a second, please. I get started with you shortly, Alj. Okay, so how much money does students spend on a daily basis? So we want to put and okay, so I'm going to address this state question to be and a statement instead of a question. An investigation to determine the average amount of money students average amount of money an investigation to determine on average the amount of money students spend where at school, on the way home, on the way to school. Where, Sophia? Where would you like to be? Could we be a bit specific? Could we put at school, Sophia?
Okay, Miss.
All right, so at school on a daily basis. Can we focus on a specific year group? So an investigation to determine on average the amount of money students spend at school on a daily basis. Can we focus on a specific group? So students of year 9 or students in year 9 or in year 10 spend at school on a daily basis. Yes?
Yes, Miss.
But what is your question actually solving? What's the aim of this? What is it? Because your SBA should be addressing an issue, solving a problem. Good night, Moreland. How are you? So what would this be solving? What's the aim? So when you find out the average amount of money, what problem is it solving? What you going to use this information for? What influence will this information have? Like, how do you plan on using this information? Because your SBA topic for CSEC mathematics should be a topic where it is solving some form of problem, or this information can be used to give guidance to addressing some issue or something. So say, for instance, looking at this, one of the things that I could look at is an investigation to determine on average the amount of money students in year 10 spend at school on a daily basis. I could be thinking that this might be in the case where, okay, you want to highlight to maybe students that uh, I don't even know in line of this now, because your SBA should be solving a problem or addressing some issue in some way. Okay, maybe highlight to your parent that maybe the money that you're getting in comparison to the average money other students are getting and spending at school is not sufficient. But then again, I believe that parents actually give you that which they can't afford. So that would, even though it might be an issue to you as a child, but that would be something that I don't know how to put this one now. Cynthia, what problem will this be solving? Since I can't figure out how would you use the information you gain from this SBA? How would you use it? What influence does it have? Does it have any influence on anything? Can you use it to influence any decision moving forward? Or you could look at, yes, think about saving. So on and investigations to determine on average the amount of money students in year 10 spend at school on a daily basis, right? So you can look at what they spend on a daily basis, and then from this, you can encourage students to spend less and save more in areas that they can. Would that be a good end game for you, Cynthia? Cynthia,
Yes, miss.
you sure?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So every SBA should have a reason why you're doing it. And as we look at this one that Cynthia will be doing, so let's take this one out of the yellow, right? We will refine this as we go along. So it is you coming up with the reason why you're doing the SBA is there's no hard set reason because everyone's reason will be different. But you need to know what's behind this. How would I use this information to influence someone, influence other person's decision, or to give guidance, or to give support, or to solve a problem? So, when you're doing your introduction for this, which we'll do together, it could be a case where you say, okay, you realize that students spend a lot at school and they okay, so let's structure this a little bit different. An investigation to determine on average the amount of money students in year 10 spend at school in comparison, or a comparison of the amount of money students spend at school, or so an investigation to determine on average the amount of money students in year 10 spend at school in comparison to what they save on a daily basis. Now, having a question like this now, so let's just isolate this one a bit. So now when you look at this, it's refined now. It's refined in the sense where you have you know what you're doing, you know the group, the focus group, which is year 10, in year 10, the focus group, you know exactly what you're looking for. So you said, okay, we're looking at the average amount of money spent in year 10. So it's specific to say, okay, it's average. So I'll be collecting from students, how much do you spend on this day? How much do you spend on that day? How much do you spend on that day? Collecting from different students. And then from the same students, I'll be asking them, how much do you save on this day or that day? All right. So we'll know how much the students spend, how much the students save, and then we can compare. So it's clear to say what our end game is, to say that, okay, given that students are spending on average, you might find that students spend 500 a day at school, and on average, students are spending or saving $100. Now, your investigation can now say, okay, to the banks in your area, the students at my school were not really interested in, are not doing much savings. And it might be a case where you can come in and tell them about savings, and that will encourage the banks to come in and maybe even open accounts for the students and encourage them to do savings. And then you could maybe say to your subject leader that, okay, could you talk to our students or classmates about investments, and that if they save up enough, they can actually start going into stock exchange from this age. So from your SBA, you're able to influence decisions. You're able to 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 solve an issue, and the issue at hand is actually having students being able to save from now, learning how to save from now, and learning how to invest your money from this age. All right. So that's one of the things that would be really good coming from this SBA. Being able to get that information, to say students spend that amount, save that amount, and then being able to influence the banks in your ear to say, you might need to come in and do a little talk with my year 10 classmates so that they can know more about savings and know how them saving can actually make a difference for their future. And you can also ask them if they can have their stockbroker or someone from that department speak to your students, your classmates about stocks exchange and how they can actually have their own portfolio on the junior market from an early age. All right. So this is one way we can actually go with this SBA topic. All right, Cynthia.
Okay, miss.
So do you understand the aim?
Yes, miss.
Does it make sense to you now?
Yes, it does.
Do you feel comfortable with your topic?
Yes, miss, I feel comfortable.
You sure?
Yes, miss.
Okay. All right, now, Cynthia, we're going to go to the outline. I am going to be moving on. Where we're going to start is not where you're at. So I'm actually going to go pick up with the other students who are actually at method of data collection. I want you to look at the outline for the introduction and look at the outline. There's also a video on our YouTube channel that has this exact outline, right? So you can also watch the video on our YouTube channel. If you type in SBA, Mathematics SBA, you'll see it come up on our channel. So you can actually look at this specific outline and it tells you exactly what you're supposed to do. The email that I sent you as well, Cynthia, it has about 4 samples. So you can look at the sample. So far, Cynthia, you have gained 1 mark because you have your clear project title. It relates to a real world problem and it may form of a question or a precise, maybe in the form of a question or precise and clear statement of intent. So you have ticked all 3 of these, which means you have gotten your 1 mark for your SB already. All right, so Cynthia, get onto that, my darling, and I'll go down to method of data collection with Alj, Marlon, and Dejano. Alj, I'll start with you. Have you started your method of data collection, Alj? Mr. Alj? All right, so now
Yes,
here.
ma'am.
Yes, go ahead, Alj.
I thought you were saying something, miss.
Yeah, have you started your method of data collection?
Yes, miss.
Okay,
Miss,
and
militarily finish the whole miss. I just. You hearing me, miss? I
yes,
said
I'm here.
I literally finished the whole of it.
Okay, so could you email
Oh,
that to me? Email that to me right now so I can be
miss, you have it,
looking.
miss. Check, miss, you have it.
When you sent it to me,
From the last time you asked me to send it to you, miss.
you did. Hold on, let me check.
Miss, me think it's it, miss.
So did you do the corrections that I gave you?
Yes. No, I never finished all of them, miss. I don't think so.
Oh, you'll be telling me about you finishing SB and letting me feel as if you've been on track and I've been off track. Why are you making me feel bad now? All right, so hold on now. Let me see what I have for you. So you need to let me check what I have for you first, and then did I send you the one that we were working on the night?
Miss?
Did I send you the one that that I was correcting for you before in class the last time?
Yeah. Wait a minute. No, miss.
Okay. Okay. So I see where I sent you. Let me see what I sent you. Okay. So could you check your email on the 16th of February?
All right, I'm gonna check miss when we get this year. This year we have miss is on the 15th, miss.
Okay, yes, it would show the 15th for you. That's yes. Okay. All right. So following from
Miss?
open that one that you got on the 15th and open the last one that you sent me. I want you to open both now. Hello, Zoom. How are you doing? Zoom is here with us, Dejano.
Miss?
Zoom is here with us.
Oh,
Miss, I like you clearly.
I said Zoom is here with us. The Zoom
Oh,
topic
Zoom.
is an investigation to determine the brand of shoes preferred by school students in comparison to teachers. Oh, that's a nice one. But okay, Zoom. Okay, that's a nice one. All right.
miss, me
Marlon.
open one of them, miss.
Have you opened both?
Miss, me need both.
Yes, you need
Miss,
to open both so we can see which one we're going to continue with, as you
yes,
have been.
yes, miss. Me find one is the last one, miss. So, cause the next one me never do one whole heap on that one, miss. So me did, this one is basically finished.
So hold on now. The one that you're looking at. So let me be clear as to the one that I'm looking at to see if that's the one that you are looking at. Can you read me just the first bit of your introduction? Don't read out your entire introduction now. I don't want anyone copying anything from your SBA.
The aim of this The aim of this research is to determine the effect social media have on students of 10 poorly academic studies.
Stop. Read the last sentence in that one. The last sentence now.
In that paragraph,
No,
or
in the
introduction,
introduction.
basic
Okay. Yeah.
computation and stat.
Yeah, I have that one. All right. So I don't want
Okay,
you
good.
to ever read your full SBA out because I
Oh
don't want
yeah,
it to be a case where you work really hard on your SBA and then
they
because
copy it.
you get copied and you get ungraded for that. I couldn't
Oh,
live with myself if that happened because you read it out on our channel, right?
yes, yes,
So
miss.
we continue with that one. Could you take out where you have SBA questions? You don't need to have that part. And your next heading should be method of data collection. So if I just share, uh,
What you said, I must take up, miss. Can you repeat for me, please? Let's be a
so this
question.
is the last bit that you have, right? That's the last line on the SBA.
Yes, miss.
Yeah. So here
Yeah.
now it's going to be, let me see what you have here.
SBA question.
Yeah, took that part out. We're going to take that part out. Yeah, this is the next bit that you're going to do. If you bring
Method
this
of
up,
it.
take out the SBA question.
Yes, miss. All right. Just a second for me, please, and thank you.
Okay. So if you take that out, and your heading should be method of data collection.
Yeah, I have that now, miss.
Okay, so that is the bit that you had at the bottom. Just bring it up. You see that part that you had down? Just bring it up. Right up.
Yeah, yeah, see my screen, miss?
No, I can't see your
Yeah, but
screen.
what should I bring up?
I'm going to share. I'm going to share with you what I expect you to do. So looking like this.
Okay,
So
yeah,
this,
yeah, I don't know. Yeah, yeah.
yeah. So they, okay, good. Okay, okay. So let me read through what you have now, and then I'll tell you what I need you to put in.
All right, miss.
All right. So okay. So there's nothing wrong with me reading your method of data collection out aloud, right? Because you, every, more than one person can have the same method of collecting the data. That would be fine. But just to protect you, I'm still not going to read it out because I definitely don't want any issue when it comes on to plagiarism. Okay, so this is good. So you state you're going to be asking 25 students, right, of your
Yes, yes.
specific class, a series of questions, and you're going to state it, you're going to ask them on a questionnaire. So you state exactly the number of students you're going to ask, how you're going to ask them, which is a questionnaire, and you'd say that okay, you're going to let the students remain anonymous so that it protects their integrity, which is good, and that and this is to and you will give the each student the same question, which is to avoid bias, which is very good. Key things that you have highlighted. Okay, so that second line now that you have, could you add er to research? So instead of having research, it's a researcher.
Yes, miss.
Mhm.
All right, miss. I've done that.
Okay, so would analyze each question. Yes, so you talk about analyzing the questions carefully, and so you're gonna analyze the questions. Uh, instead of having outcome to instead of having predict, could you put to determine the best suitable graph?
Where, miss? Where, miss?
I'm actually I'm actually typing in.
Oh,
I'll send it to you. I'll type it in for you and send it to you.
okay.
For this part. So to determine the best suitable graph, yeah. So that part. So to present each, uh, to present the data. Yeah. Okay. So this second part that Alj did, he talks about, so he said that he would analyze the data carefully And while he's analyzing the data, each question carefully, is to determine the best suitable graph in order to present the data he have collected. And you say that you would use questionnaire, you would do it anonymous. All right, so to protect the integrity of students, which is good, you stated that before. Okay. And the last part, where the questionnaires are returned to the researcher. Okay, so good.
1,500.
All right, Alj, there's a duplicate in what you are saying here. If I just highlight this part,
Me have the phone side of me and me have the phone. I am the one. Me have the phone in a block. Me have the phone in a hand and the book. Yeah. Never come back here to tell.
Alj,
You want to know? Imagine
Alj,
Yes, miss.
your background, the persons in your background, we can hear their conversation.
Oh yeah, yes, miss. Sorry about that, miss.
Okay, that's all right. All right, so let's go with the question here. So looking at this now, Dejano, Marlon, Cynthia, you can come in at this point and tell me what we can do to what you analyze here based on these two sentences. What do you analyze from these two sentences? And this is to help you when you're doing your own SBA so that you would avoid doing this that I have picked up on. Zoom, you can also comment. Tell us what you have analyzed in these two sentences that you're seeing from, what's his name here? Alj. So we're going to be changing them a bit, but you can analyze them to tell us what you're seeing.
Miss, the research should analyze the research or the researcher. The
Okay,
person in the
researcher.
research.
Okay, the researcher.
Miss, I tally, Miss, can I use the word tallied or total?
Tallied is fine.
Okay. Miss, waiting by give raise to comprise.
So they would be making a comparison. So hold on, let me try and remember exactly what his SBA is about. Tell me again what your SBA is about. A topic, Alj.
Miss. An investigation into how social media affect the students of 10 Pool A academics performance in the year of 2021.
Okay, and that which you have on that document is not on this document. So you need to put it on this one, right? So that
Yes, miss.
project title that you just read me is nowhere on this one. Let me double check. Hold on. Yeah, so I'm not seeing that project title. So that needs to come on this one. All right, so when I send you this, as a matter of fact, just read it for me quickly.
What you said just now, miss?
Read me the project title, an investigation.
An investigation into how social media affect the students of 10 Pool A academic performance in the year of 2021.
So to determine the effect of social media on students' academic performance
Of 10 Pool A.
of 10 Pool A,
No, miss. Affect the students of 10 Pool A, students of 10 Pool A academic performance.
an investigation to determine the effect of social
Effect
media
of social media on students of 10 Pool A.
of social media or social media on students' academic performance of 10 Pool A.
Miss, you write it wrong, you know, miss.
No, I did change a bit.
Effect must not the dear, so miss.
Which read me
Affect,
what
miss. An investigation into how social media affect the students of 10 Pool A academic performance in the year of 2021. You have it in caps, miss.
read what I have now.
An investigation determined the effect of social media on student academic performance of 10 Pool A in the year of 2021. Yes, miss.
Read what you have.
Miss, you have it set up in a different way, miss, but it's literally same thing.
Okay. So I use effect other than affect. Uh, to be honest, I can't tell you exactly what's the. It's. I think it's how the word it is that makes determine which word you use. So in terms of how I word this, then it would be effect other than affect. How it affect effect. Yeah, but you can get this check. Remember, I'm not English, I'm math. Yes, I can give you the standards, but in terms of being able to tell you specifically if it's effect or affect, I know that effect is definitely what I would use, right? But to be able to tell you which is the correct one to use in terms of being grammatically correct, I'm not the best person to do that. All right. But effect does sound good to me. How does it sound to the other persons? How does it sound to you, Alj? Does it sound okay?
Yes, miss, no problem.
All
Yes,
right.
miss.
So good. So yeah, that's refining it. Let me come off your experience.
Miss,
Yes.
Miss, I would suggest them in spell up back there. Yeah.
Okay.
Which
Oh Lord,
part
that's
it
it.
did say yeah, miss, which part it say investigation to determine the effect of social media. Miss, it could have more than one effect, you know, mistress. More than if you put effects there instead.
Effects. Okay.
Yeah, because
Right.
it can have more than one effect.
Okay. Yes. 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 I do agree with that. See. See, senor. Alj, you haven't given us any Spanish since night. What happened? And Cynthia is here.
Lo
Cynthia does
siento,
Spanish as
Senora.
well. Cynthia, could you just say hello to Alj in Spanish for us? Cynthia,
Yes, miss.
say hello to Alj in Spanish.
Mr. Pete, right.
Say hello to LJ in Spanish.
Miss, make me
Hola.
try. No, man, you should have put more on it. If you say, hola, mi amigo, what your name, LJ? Yeah.
Hola, mi amigo. Oh, hola, my friend. Hello, my friend, LJ. Ooh, I
Yeah,
get that one.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah. That's all I remember,
Okay,
yeah.
see.
Me not do not, yeah. That's all I
You do
remember.
Spanish as well, Dajana, do you?
No, miss, me drop that. Me stop that third form. It now work out.
But you know that in this day and age, even before this day and age, that having a second language makes you a
Yes,
bit more
yes.
marketable.
I know, miss, yes. Me hear that, but miss, you have to look on it for mine. Miss, I haven't passed it from go to Glenmere, me not pass Spanish. Like, it just doesn't stick. I can't do it. No, me not
Okay.
gonna say me can't.
Uh,
But
uh, Stop for a minute. I look at my face now.
yes, no, see
You
that?
see me? Or you see me
Yes,
now?
miss. Yes, miss.
Can't die when could born. Can't die when could born. And that's why you tell yourself that. Can't die, meaning dead. The word can't not exist anymore when could born. The fact that could exist can't die. All right, so there's no can't. So let's see if we can restructure that part, right?
Miss,
Just like you have
it's
helped
just
us to
really
restructure other
difficult.
things.
It's
Okay,
just
that's
really
better.
difficult.
That's better to say, right? But you can do it. All right. And Cynthia and Alj is going to show you that you can do it because they're going to teach you as they go along in this class. See, Senorita Tobias. See,
No, 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 Senorita Hunter.
miss, miss, I know the only problem that I have, is when it gets down to like the technical part, like them feel like how we do English and you have certain rules and things you have to follow. The rules them just mess me up. That's just it. But in terms of remembering like say amigo is friend, we can remember that, but when it comes to me putting it into like a sentence and it's grammatically correct, I can't do that.
Okay, so
Not
Marlon
not
just put
can't.
one in the
I
chat.
find it difficult to do that.
Okay. So Marlon just put in the chat. Me number is Marlon 3. So my number is Marlon 3. Is that what he's saying?
Miss no miss I never three me for press miss man accidentally pressed 3 and I didn't realize.
Number is
I was
name.
pressing
No
submit
number.
miss like the autofill.
Oh,
A
number
It
is,
is
number?
oh,
it is
my name
number.
is, oh, my name is Marlon. Okay.
My number is LJ. Me Bibo in Westmoreland. Yet
Maybe.
cuántos años?
I'm living it.
¿Cuántos
No, wait,
años?
calm down. You live in Westmoreland.
Viente.
Continue. After you live in Westmoreland, wait after that.
¿Cuántos años? Viente.
What does
¿Cuántos
plus
Where do
años
wait?
tienes?
Where
No.
where are
Yo
acting?
tengo 20 años.
Mm.
Yo
Yeah,
tengo
tell me
bien,
your age now, something like that, don't it?
20. Yo tengo 20 años. I am 20 years old.
Miss me yeah, miss me tell you I age him tell me, but me can't remember my number them.
See, Senor Dejano, you have skills over there because you were able to decipher that. And I was over here sitting blank. Okay. Cynthia, give us one last line of Spanish, teach us something, and then we get back to this that we're doing. Okay, Cynthia disappeared on us.
Miss Michelle.
Say that in a Spanish me could hear.
Yes. Thank you, Dejano. Thank you. Could you say that in Spanish for us?
She gonna eat me now.
You need to stop provoking the girls here, You see?
Hear me, me say me provoke. I'm not provoking
See,
anybody.
Cedric has no hair. So you just said you provoke her too much. Okay, that's not true, Jordan. She's just not well today. All right, so let's get back to this.
Okay.
I still haven't gotten the analysis that I'm looking for this bit.
Miss, I don't see anything else wrong with it, you know.
Come on, look
Is
at it.
anything else?
Read it again. Read it, Ajay. Read it.
Alright, Miss,
Read
I
it,
read it out
Sophia.
loud. Each question, quick carefully to determine the best suitable graph to present the data collected. When the questionnaires are returned to the researcher, the answers will be tallied. The various answers, not answer, will then be presented by using graphs and charts. The answers provided will also give real comparisons.
Yes.
In 1, 2, 3, line 3, the answer will be tallied. It's supposed to be answered because I get more than one answers from much other people. So it's supposed to be plural answers. And in line 4 as well, there's various answer again, should be answers. Right, miss? Yeah,
Okay.
logical. Yeah,
Okay, so
confidence in
answers.
my
So
answer.
I'll definitely put that on. But what I wanted you to realize is that the first line and the second line are basically saying the same thing. Did you realize that? So the first line said the researcher will also analyze each question carefully to determine the best suitable graph to present the data collected, right? And then the second line is saying, to be honest, the first one, I restructured it. He had something a little different, but I restructured it into what it is now, right? But it was basically saying the same thing. And the second one is saying when the questionnaires are returned to the researcher, the answers will be tallied, The various answers will then be presented by using graphs and charts. When you talk about graphs and charts, it's the same thing that you're saying here. Present the data. Graph would suit the best suitable graphs to present the data collected. So that is saying the same thing as the various answers will then be presented by using graphs and charts. Do you realize that both of those things saying the same thing?
Yes, miss.
So we have a repetition. So how do I fix this repetition now? And before I go further, while I think about fixing this repetition, I'm going to go back, look at it, read it again. Marlon, can you read this for me? I haven't heard your voice since that, Marlon. What happened?
Miss, which part I'm afraid, Miss, I was doing a electrical SBA, Miss.
Okay, read both sentence for me.
Hello?
Read both sentence for me. You hear me?
Miss?
Yeah, read both sentence for me.
The researcher will also, Miss? The researcher will also analyze each question carefully to determine the best suitable graph to represent the data collected. When the questionnaires are returned to the researcher, the answer will be tallied. The various answers will be then presented by using graph and charts. The answer provided will also give rise and comparisons.
Okay, so think about it. Think about the topic that he's doing. And when he talks about rise and comparison, he talks about their performance in 2021. So what are we going to be comparing this to? You talk about doing a comparison now. That was not mentioned in your topic, in your project title. So what are you making a comparison to? So you're introducing something new here, right here, that was never stated in your project title. So let's go back to the project title. So let me go back to your project title. Okay, so an investigation to determine the effect of social media on students' academic performance of 10 Pool A in 2021. Now, Zoom said we can put in the effect if it's positive or negative. So what Zoom said, let me just be clear what Zoom said. He said this topic could be more distinctive because social media could cause a negative and a positive effect. Right. So based on what he said, can you now tell us what how be a little bit more specific now? Would you like to add that into what you already have, Alj? An investigation to determine, do you want to look at both positive and negative, or do you want to look at the positive only, or do you want to look at the negative?
Miss, just the negative, miss, cause me now the back over all of that, miss.
Okay, so the negative
Lala. Smart.
effect. Oh,
Greedy truck puppy, miss.
well, I like how you put it. So you think about your work load and you say, okay, it's better for me to just stick to the negative because what I already have is focusing on the negative. So an investigation to determine the negative effect of social media on students' academic performance of 10 Pool A in the year 2021. Now, you mentioned something about comparison down there. If we're going to talk about comparison, you're going to have to put it in here. You're going to have to adjust your introduction. So can we take that comparison off? Because if you're going to compare, you're going to have to compare not just 2021, but you have to compare it with a year before. And you're going to have to state why you choose 2021 and why you choose the year previously. And it would have been similar to what Marlon is doing, where is it Marlon or Dejano, where they got to state why they choose the years that they choose. I think it's Marlon, because one, the year before, when Marlon was in year 8, that was his stable year, his last stable year before the pandemic. So he chose that year, and he chose 2, 3 other years after to see what happens with students' academic performance after that. So you have to, if you're going to make a comparison, you need to select another year, which means their introduction is going to change. And the data that you collected is definitely going to change as well. So should we take off the comparison that you have at the bottom? For this part, let me scroll on Alj.
Yes, miss.
Should we take off the comparison? Do you understand what I am saying? To say that if you put comparison here, you have to have something in your project title that you're comparing. You have to have
Okay,
state
miss.
it before.
Okay. Yes, miss. Yes, miss.
So should we take it off?
Yes, miss.
Okay. Now, I've given you enough time to think about these 2 lines. Can we restructure this to make it into one? And how do we restructure this to make it into one? Can we just delete one of them and keep one? What's the approach? Dejana? Zoom? Marlon?
Blend them,
Cynthia?
miss.
Go again?
Blend them together, miss.
Tell me how to do that.
Miss?
Tell me how to do that. Or you're gonna put them together so that you don't have a repetition.
Semicolon.
Where did I put the semicolon? You think you're smart over there, you know? You think you're smart.
Yes,
You,
miss,
Algie.
where you have collected, you can put the semicolon there, miss, but you got to take out this D.
Semicolon here.
Yes, miss.
Uh-huh. What do I take out now?
Miss, but you're gonna remove when the questionnaire return to the researcher will be tallied.
That's fine. I think we can keep that part because that's not where the repetition is. So we could maybe move it to the front. So when the questionnaires are returned to the researcher, the answers will be tallied. Yes. And then the researcher will also analyze how do I restructure that part? Let's hear it.
Okay, miss. Which part,
So
miss?
this part is good. Let me put the part that we have that is good so far in green. So we know that's a go. Now, this part, I'm going to highlight the words in red. So the yellow part tells us what's repeated, and red tells us that, okay, this is what we need to restructure. How do we do that? Marlon, I need your head in this game for a minute or two, please. Same thing, Cynthia, because you all will be doing this SBA. So you actually need to know exactly how to restructure this part. I'm waiting. Remember, you are the one that will be doing your SBA now. Cynthia, you're allowed to go. Cynthia have been here from 6 o'clock. Cynthia, you're allowed to go. Just have your topic ready and your introduction the next time we have lesson, which is Thursday. Cynthia have been here from 6. Sorry, Cynthia, I should have let you off a long time ago. All right. And Cynthia have completed her form, right? That's a the Google sheet. She have done hers. So the other persons, I've sent you the updated Google sheets that keep track of your progress. So please complete that as well. Just copy what you have in the other in the previous form and just put it into that form. All right. Cynthia, thank you for being here. Have a good night and work on your introduction. Next week we get back to the math, Cynthia. We're trying to finish SBA this week. Okay,
Okay,
Cynthia?
miss.
And sorry for keeping you this long. I should have let you go a long time ago, darling. She was early for lesson, 6 o'clock on the dot. Since you've been here 2 hours, what? How long is it now? 6 to 12, 12 to now. 2 hours, 26 minutes. All right, Cynthia, see you next week. Thank you.
Bye, miss.
Bye. You can't tell us bye in the Spanish. Adios.
Adios, mis
Hey,
amigos.
adios, mi amigos. Hey.
Okay. All right, so it's just me, you, and Alj now, Dejano. So can we have this part sorted?
Malangan.
Let me see. Yeah, Moreland.
When
Moreland.
Malangan. All right. Miss Zoom
Okay,
still there with me, I've been gone.
Zoom said his SBA is
I'm
so
there.
broad. I think he should do a class or in his institution. Or he's doing a class Zoom. 10 Pool A is actually his class. Right, Zoom? Could substitute answers with results. How do you feel about that option, Alj? Zoom is suggesting that you could substitute the word answers with results. What do you think about that?
C. Sonora.
Okay, C. Senor. Okay. So let's do that substitution. I'm still waiting for you to put this together. Come on. So he says results. The questionnaires are when the questionnaires are returned to the researcher, the results would be tallied. The researcher will also analyze each. Where's the word answers again? Results. How do I structure this part? The researcher will also analyze each question carefully to determine the best suitable graph to present the data collected. The various results would then be presented by using graphs and charts.
Miss, my internet is off and on. How they hear me say break up?
Okay. How do I restructure this part? Tejana,
Yes, miss.
I'm waiting. Hurry up, man.
Oh, yes. Oh,
You realize that I
like
haven't
2
touched
away.
your SBA as yet?
Yeah. The when the questionnaires are returned to the researcher, the results will be tallied. So miss, the line in red, the researcher will also analyze each question carefully to determine is the same as what's been said up here in green. Miss Mother just take out the part there and just say when the questionnaires are returned to the researcher, the results will be tallied and the best suitable graph to present the data will be selected.
Okay,
Uh,
thank you.
yeah.
Okay, and Zoom did say we were supposed to take out the full stop and put in a comma, and that will go exactly with what you said. So we take out, so we put in a comma here, and the best suitable graph to present the data. So when the questionnaires are returned to the researcher, the results will be tallied, and the best suitable graph to present the data collected. Something needs to go after that.
And the best suitable graph to present the data collected would be selected.
Collected, selected, sounds as if we have. So, and the best suitable graph to present the data will be selected. Yeah, good.
Yes, miss.
Comfortable with that now, LJ? LJ is having a bit of connection issue. It's just me and you, Dejano.
See,
Okay.
drop here and drop off.
Oh, he's back. He's back. Okay. Now, let's look at the method of data collection. And LJ, you know what is in the rest of your SBA. So let's go through now. Method, you state your method of collecting the data clearly. Yes, you did. You said you're using questionnaire. States everything you need to do from start to finish. So you said you're going to distribute questionnaires. And when you distribute those questionnaires, you're going to do it randomly. You said you're not going to collect any names because you're going to protect the identity of persons. So you're going to do it anonymously. And you said the amount of person you're selecting is 25. So you have said that bit. What else did you say? So you state your intent, how you intend to collect the data. Oh, you haven't stated how long you're going to give the questionnaire out for. Is it that you're collecting it immediately? So we need to determine that part. LJ is not here. So can we help LJ out with that part? So he did say each student will be given the same set of questions to avoid bias. Questionnaires. So we're gonna wait on LJ to tell us how that part goes. Oh, and he didn't say if he's going to send it electronically or it's a physical copy. So you can just create a form and send it electronically. So you could add that to say it will be sent electronically. And if you're sending it electronically, that means you don't need to necessarily uh wait to collect the paper from the person, but you just need to do a follow-up with the person. So you could state that clearly. Say the instrument that you intend. He did say the instrument, which is the questionnaire, and he haven't put in a blank questionnaire as yet to show us. Did he? Let me check if he have placed that questionnaire. So we need to see that which you're going to use to collect that data. Let me check to see if he had included it. Yeah, he did. So he have that. He have that. Can be given as a paragraph or point format. He gave it as a paragraph. And it should be 1 to 1.5 paragraph, depending on what you're writing, but make sure all points are relevant. Okay, so I'm working LJ method of data collection. He would have gotten the 2 marks here because all of these have been identified, right? So it's not about your length of your method of data collection. It's about having the key aspects of your method of data collection. Now, Dejano, let's go with your method of data collection.
Lord have mercy, Miss.
Send it to
Miss
me,
Jenny.
please.
All right. Hold on. Should I do that enough for me finish it this evening? Yeah, thanks. I'm looking. Thanks.
Okay, so LJ is joining again. Hopefully he gets in. LJ, how are you going to send the questionnaire? Is it electronically or are you going to be giving out papers? Senor LJ? Okay. Zoom, would you like to send me your SBA at Mathematics Resource Center so I can look at it to Mathematics Resource Center at gmail.com. I do have some other, okay. So I do have some other SBAs that I need to look at just for persons who are struggling with their SBA. You can send your SBA to us at mathematicsresourcecenter@gmail.com. We will look at it and then we can guide you as to how you move forward and what you can do to make your SBA better, right? So we can do, I will do the review for you, right? And then after doing the review, then I will guide you as to how we can proceed from there. All right.
Miss, I sent it to you.
Okay.
Miss, when me I write it, me I struggle to feel like I don't know if you put on there in terms of how me I type. I don't know. I just sure what to write there.
Okay. I did tell you that you need to name your SBA with your names because more than one person is going to name their SBA mathematics SBA. So when I get it now, I need to be able to can identify whose
Oh,
SBA is without having to
oh,
open the SBA. Yes. So just put your name, and it's the same thing for your teachers when they're marking your SBA. All right. So presently, I am seeing here on yours, Dejano, project title, introduction, method of data collection. All right. What I'll say to you is just go ahead,
Miss,
Dejano, and complete your table of content. Even if the
wait,
page
Miss,
numbers are not correct, just complete it.
oh, so
So look
I
at
miss
the
because
structure. You know, you have
me
presentation of data next,
yes, miss,
analysis of data.
a bit, miss, because me not put in the heading to the other section, that's why.
Yes, so just put it into your method of into your table of content, and that way you know, okay, I have this 1 mark for my table of content.
Alright.
So you know that only thing you need to go back and do is, and you can state what these represent, these numbers over here represent. So you could put a heading to say this is page number. Is it page number or page? Something of the sort there. Okay. Alje, are you hearing me now? Hola, Senor, Alje. No, we're not getting anything from Alje yes, as yet. I'm going to show you a sample SBA. These SBA have used already, so please do not copy anything. You can copy the structure, you can copy wording, yes, but do not copy a full SBA because it will affect you. It will prevent you from getting your grade that you're supposed to get. You'll get an ungraded. So this is a Skittles SBA, and that's the method of that's the table of contents. Oh, I haven't shared it today. Sorry. Let me share it. So there goes the table of contents. And those are the things that you actually need in your SBA. If we go to CSEC mathematics syllabus,
Yes.
yes,
I was having a hard time rejoining.
I'm sorry. Sorry. Okay. If we go to mathematics syllabus, and if we scroll down to your SBA, so the guidelines for school-based assessment. So this is what you need to use to guide you. And this is what I used in the past. So you have a project A. There are two types of project. A project A is based on applying mathematical concepts, skills, and procedure from any topic in order to understand, describe, or explain a real. Okay. Oh, this is additional mathematics. Oh, yeah, because I said this looks like additional mathematics. Yes. Okay, so let me look for the CSEC. Mathematics syllabus. Okay. So AdMax is a little different because it gives you this option to do this part that CSEC does not give you. So it gives you that option, while CSEC just give you this bit. Hold on. To explain. Oof. So yeah, there's a big difference looking at it now. Project B is based on apply mathematical concepts, skills, and procedure from any topic in order to understand, describe, or explain a real-world phenomenon. The project is experiment-based. Okay, so this is one. Oops. So this one here is what you can do, like with the pendulum, to determine the amount of swings in a pendulum, right? So this is project B, where you test, you apply mathematics concepts and skills and procedure to from any topic in order to understand, describe, or explain a real world phenomenon. Hope I pronounced that word correctly. And then project A though is based on applying mathematical concepts, skills, and procedure from any topic in order to understand. Isn't that the same thing that I'm reading? What's the difference? Oh, so one is theory based. Oh, okay. So one is theory based and one is experiment based. So both of them is doing the same thing, but one is theory based where you actually would look at previous documentation to determine that, and the other is experiment based where you would do the experiments. I've always done experiment based. So with the Skittles, that's an AdMaths topic. So it's a CSEC topic that you can advance to AdMaths with the candles to determine this if the rate, if the circumference of a candle affects the rate of at which it burns. So the pendulum takes in a bit of theory because it's a bit of theory with a bit of you doing the experiment.
Yes.
So yes, yes, Dejana, is that Dejana?
Oh, Miss Marlon.
Yes, Marlon. All right. So that's the difference
So didn't say,
between.
so didn't say anything, miss.
Oh, I thought I heard someone. So that's the difference between the CSEC and the AdMax SBA. Now I'm going to go for the CSEC syllabus so I can actually look at the SBA. Okay. All right. So let me see if I find that CSEC syllabus. All right. So it's always important for you to understand your syllabus and go to it when you're doing your work. Or if I share this bit, So let's look at the CSEC syllabus. So scrolling down to where it starts. Okay. We don't have the SBA on this one. Mathematics C6 syllabus. Let's see what's in the project title here. What's in the content page? No, it's not here. Let's see if it's in this one. Yes, the SBA is in this one, I think, if I'm seeing correctly. Am I looking at the right syllabus? Okay. GSET mathematics, SB. Same thing that they're putting us back to. Um, what? Trying to find it on my computer, but I seem to not have it with the other documents that I do have for CSEC mathematics. Does any of you have the syllabus? Oh, I know where it is in my. I think I have a file on syllabus alone. That's where I would have it. No. Yes, curriculum and syllabus. In mathematics. Uh, no, I don't have it. Let me try one more area. I'm not sure where I have it. Somewhere. Okay. So I wanted to show you what CSEC actually require of you so you can know exactly when you're on track and when you're off track. CSEC, mathematics. Let me just type in syllabus. Okay. Yes. Okay, so here it is. I did have it. So yeah. So scrolling down to the SBA now. Okay, so they tell you what you're supposed to have. It tells you that the project may require candidates to collect data or demonstrate the application of mathematics in everyday situation. So it's application of mathematics in everyday situation. And the activities related to the project should be integrated into the classroom instruction so as to enable the candidate to learn and practice the skills needed to complete the project. So that's why your teacher have always been telling you to do something centered around school. Some time in class should be allocated for general discussion of the project work, allowing for discussion between teacher and student and student and student. Okay, so that's the aim of the SBA. And rational is just about, it intends to assist you, the student, in, so let me just highlight this bit, in acquiring certain knowledge, skills, and attitudes that are associated with the subject. And it talks about how you'd obtain marks. Okay, so the part that I want to bring you to is you need to understand what you're going to be tested, what you're going to be marked for you to know exactly what to do. All right, so the school-based assessment consists of one project to be marked by the teacher in accordance with the CSEC guideline. It talks about this bit you can look up on your own. Let's go down to the mark scheme. So we can actually look at, it tells you everything, just like I've given you that outline, it gives you the breakdown. Okay. So here is where what you should have. Project title. So assessment criteria. So these are all that you should have in your table of contents. And for this, having it in your table of content, that's the one mark I've been telling you about the journal. Anyone hearing me?
Yes, miss.
Okay. Have you put this in now the journal for your one mark?
Yes, miss.
Okay. Good. And your SBA is marked out of 20. Now let me zoom out so you can see this a little better. So I talked about the project title earlier, relates to a real world problem. That's why I make sure to highlight that bit when you're doing it. And that's the one mark. So all of you thus far have gotten one mark. So if I'm marking your thing, I would have put in one mark on this paper already. Now, your introduction, Dejana, objectives are clear. I would have given you that one mark. Comprehensive description of the project, you have defined all your terms. I give you that 2 mark. If you haven't defined all your terms, then you would get 1 mark. Limited description of the project, you get 1 mark. And then detailed content page with page numbers, you're doing that. So when you finish that, I'll give you that 1 mark. That's 4 out of 20. You have already scored. What's 4%? What 4 out of 20 as percentage? Dejana? Was 4 out of 20 as percentage? 4 out of 20 as a
Me
percentage?
say that's how I know. 20 going 100 or that 5 times.
Yeah.
4 fives. How much?
20, miss.
20?
Mm-hmm.
So you'd have done 20% of the SBA, 20% of the marks already, and you've gotten full mark for that 20% already. Now let's come to the method of data collection. Algae method of data collection. Data collection method is clearly described, appropriate, and without flaws. That's 2 marks. He described exactly how he's going to go about it. And that's why I gave you these breakdowns to say exactly how you get your grade, your marks. CSEC just states this bit, and that's why I've gone ahead and write this up to say, state your method of data your method of for collecting data clearly. State everything you intend to do from start to finish. Say the instrument you use, and I tell you can use it in point formats or what. They just say data collection method is clearly described, appropriate, and without flaws. 2 marks. So now your teacher will be tasked with the job of looking at your SBA and seeing if it meets this criteria for you to get the 2 marks. If you just state the method that you're going to use to collect the data, say you're going to use questionnaire, then that should give you 1 mark, right? Because you just state what you're going to use, but you haven't described it completely. So far, Aldre doesn't have his table of contents. So he have gotten 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 marks out of the 20. Now, Dejana, looking at your method of data collection now, looking at what you've sent me, let me look at your method of data collection.
Me feel like say me can do more to it. But
Oh,
this
Dejana, you see that middle part, that middle passage that says the researcher have noticed. Could you double space that, please?
hold on. Wait a minute. Alright, so you say where is it? Yeah. Yes, miss. So you say where the researchers say what?
That part, that second to last paragraph there, could you double space it? So look at it, it's not double space.
Oh, you mean the line?
Yes.
Mm.
So to conduct this
Camera
research,
line space in double. Right.
the researcher have made a questionnaire targeting students from grade 10, grades 9 and 10. Okay, but you could put capital letter for step 1, a questionnaire. So where you have common letter.
Mic on. Right. Yeah, me say
Could you
common
put capital
letter
letter?
for and questionnaire.
Capital A. Cap,
Okay.
not an, but capital A.
Yes, miss.
And then the questionnaire was what are those all means possible? You need to be specific. Did you do a Google form? Did you send it to them via email? Did you send it to them on WhatsApp? Did you contact
So
them to let them
I
know
have to
that you sent
I
it?
have to list it out like that.
I
I have to
want
list it
your
out like
SBA to be clear, and that's why I have this part here. I want it to be clear because your teacher should not have to look for a mark to give you. It should be there saying, yes, I deserve this 2 marks.
okay, miss.
Yes?
Yes, miss.
Because when your teacher look at what CSEC have given them to work with, they're gonna have to use their discretion. Do I give you the 2 mark or do I give you the 1 mark? Now I don't teach for you to get anything less than a 20 out of a 20. So I need you to make sure that you do your very best to get the 2 marks. Because we're always aiming for the best, because we deserve the best. And we're gonna get the best because that's what we're working for. Yes? So
Yes, miss.
Marlon, I'm not seeing your SBA. Marlon,
Yes, miss.
I'm not seeing your SBA.
What's the intro?
No, we're past intro. I did intro. We worked on intro already. Remember me and you work on that intro together?
Never do not more on because I never want to go with the group.
Did you get my email?
Miss, I want to see your email like for the worksheet.
For it.
Some like the thing that I must
Can you check your email, please?
like put in my
Email was
subject.
sent. An email was sent between last night to this morning. Were you at
Last
the
night.
last class where I said you're supposed to have your next step completed?
Miss, mem, me alone did you last night.
Not this last class, the class before. So I understand what you're saying, that you want to be on par with the rest of the class, Marlon, but also too is that I want you to be working at your pace. So I want you to be moving at the pace that you are moving. So so Alger went ahead and did his entire SBA. That's the pace that he's moving. He's the he's moving at lightning speed. He needs to get it down and out of his way, right? So I don't want you to be waiting for someone. If you reach to the point that you finish that point, don't wait on anyone. Improve yourself. Keep working on you, right? So let's move on to the next step. Understand that, Marlon? Okay, Dejana, have you made that correction?
Yes, miss, I said that the questionnaire was shared by group members and friends
Don't
too.
read it out. Don't read it out, please, and thank you.
Oh,
I will not
oh,
be held
sorry.
liable for your SBA.
Miss, I got kicked out, miss.
I realize. So I was saying to you that I understand that you're saying that you don't want to move on, leaving the rest of the class, but I still want you to work at your pace. So if you are finished with one thing, I want you to just continue progressing, just like we do in regular maths class, where if you have already mastered a concept, I let you move on to a next thing so that you're moving at your pace and you continue to improve on your skills. All right. So moving forward, just ensure that you always practice that for my class. All right.
Yes, miss.
All right, dear. So now I want you to so you don't have the method of data collection. Can you start writing your method of data collection for me?
Yes, miss. Yes,
Do
miss.
you know what you're supposed to have in your method of data collection, Marlon?
No, miss.
Okay. Can you read what is on the screen?
State your method of collecting data clearly. State everything you intend to do from from start to finish. State the instrument that you intend to use to gather the data, such as your questionnaires or blank tables with headings, surveys, questions, or formula that will be used can be given a paragraph or in point form. Length 1 minus 1.5 paragraph depending on your writing, but make sure all points are relevant.
Okay. So tell me what's the first thing you're going to do?
This is first sticky, something like collect your data.
Yeah, you don't need to tell me in terms of exactly how it's structured here. Just tell me what you think you need to write down now. How you gonna write your method of data collection?
Like, so like begin like saying firstly, or so.
Anyhow you want to put it. It's your method of data collection. When you write it, you send it to me. I'll look at it and give you a suggestion.
Yes, miss.
So tell me some of the things that you need to make sure that's in your method of data collection.
Thing that I should make sure.
Yeah, there must be in your method of data collection. So remind me of your topic again.
Um, come. It's the comparison of the performance of the current fifth-form students at Manual College throughout the past 4 academic years.
Go again.
Comparison of the the performance of current fifth-form students at Manual College throughout the past 4 academic years.
All right, good. So think about your topic and see how you're going to collect that data. You might need to put in it that you need to go to a teacher and you need to acquire their grades before. So get in the grades from the teacher maybe if that's possible. If that's not possible, you need to maybe what the teacher can do is they cannot share with you the name of the students. So if they can give you 10 students, how many students they're working with, if it's 10 students they're going to be looking at, and they take out their name and put student A, student B, student C, student D, student E, student F, right? Because you're not supposed to have the data for for any particular students, right? So if they're able to give it to you and take out the names and put in student A, student B, student C, so that way you won't know which student that reports those information are belongs to, and then you'll be able
Miss,
to.
but Miss,
Mm-hmm.
Miss, but I mean when I go to that Miss and I you know like as me say I did group work and tomorrow we're gonna start this up Miss the intro and something. But that's what I
Yes.
need to say.
So you already have. Listen to me. I'm concerned about you. You're my student. You're my client. So even though it is group work, right? So I'm giving you a suggestion. So when you go to your group, you already have these things that your group can work with. So you have the project title, you have the introduction, you have brought the method of data collection. So at least when you go, because this is when you go to a meeting, you go with something, yeah. So when
Oh,
you go with this. So your mates now can pick up from there. And when they finish their part, say for instance, they're gonna say to someone, okay, you work on collecting the data, right? Since I've already done these two parts, could you work on collecting the data? And then you're gonna share with them how you think the data can be collected. Listen to them first.
yeah.
Yes. So you listen
Yes,
to what they have to say first, and then you give an idea that you have gotten from us or that we have developed together. Yes. And then you move forward with your group. Now I need
I
to see
understand.
this SBA because you are my student, you're my client. I need to see this SBA before it's submitted, even though it's a group SBA, because I got to make sure that I've checked it and you have everything as you're supposed to have before you submit your SBA.
Yes, miss.
You understand
I
me?
understand, miss. Yes, miss, I
Because
understand,
I'm
miss.
concerned about you getting your 20 out of 20. And if the person in the group doesn't do their part correctly, then it's going to affect your grade, and I can't have that.
Mister, you remember what you said a while ago when you go to the like the
You can go
principal
to
or
your
so for the
teacher,
grades?
yeah, and ask if you could have the grade. Explain that you need it for your school-based assessment, and for and ask them if they could give you the grade. And if you put the idea forward that you understand that you cannot have the grades with the student's name showing, so asking if the names telling them that if it could be that they label them student A, student B, student C, then that would work for you. Because if you go maybe just saying that you want the information, the teacher might say no, she can't give you. But if you present an a method or a way that you could get the data without affecting any breaching any data collection issue, then they will be able to present to give you the data. Should be able to, but still might not be able to, depending on the policies the school have.
Yes, miss, that's what mister, what I was saying, miss, that's what my admin teacher said that we're going to do, miss, because we were the first group to come up with our topic, miss,
Mm-hmm.
and he was explaining it to us, and he said the same exact thing. That
Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you write that, and you can get on with that. All right. Get on with writing the method of data collection. It's 2 hours 15 minutes since we've been on. So I'm gonna let you get off now. You definitely need to go and get your rest and get ready for school. Prepare yourself mentally and physically for school tomorrow. So we are going to pick up with presentation of data next, which is Thursday. So I see you Thursday for presentation of data. And if you come with your presentation of data, let's just look at that bit. So please go out, collect your data, and I tell you, I don't want to be doing SBA, having to go through this aspect of your SBA again. So that's 2 marks. Now here's the hefty part, the presentation. Please read for me, either Marlon or Dejana. Either of you can read, please.
the representation data must be accurate and will organize and well organized. You still able to
Stop for
show.
me. Accurate
Um,
and well organized. Show you what accurate and well organized looks like. And you do have these samples, I've sent them to you. So you look at the samples. Yes. So you look, so this is it. You were asking me about the steps, and this is what Marlon SBA looks like last year. This is not Marlon's SBA, but he did the same skittles. And he did his method of data collection last year. And as you have it here, he went through and he did it step by step. And how much did you get for your SBA for maths last year, Marlon?
20, miss.
20 out of 20. All right, so good. And I'm not the one that marked it. It was marked by his teacher at his school. So he got 20. I mean, I checked it, but then I'm not the one that final marked it. I just checked and make sure that he have the things that they were looking for. All right. So he did it step by step, putting in all the steps. So that's what I explained to you for you to get your 2 marks. Now, when it comes to your presentation of data, you start by presenting what you have collected in a tallied form. You label your tables as you can see here. And for this, the person put it original Skittles, sour Skittles. So they presented the data they have collected for the original Skittles, saying how much is in each pack. So this raw data should be there first. And all of this is raw data. Now the person went on to do a mathematical calculation. They wrote what they were calculating, which is the mean. They wrote how to find the mean. And the table down here shows the calculation of the mean of the 3 packs. All right. So this is where you put your mathematical calculations. And they said, note briefly, some calculations for the mean were rounded off to the nearest whole number. You state if you round it off to 3 significant figure or a whole number, you state that. That shows the person marking the exam that you're able to apply rounding that you have been taught to your SBA. It shows the other skills that you're applying to your SBA, other than just calculating the mean. Then it comes down to the charts. Now for your charts, let's look at what CSEC have asked us to do. Let's look at what CSEC states. CSEC states that the data is accurate and well organized. I'm going to give you 2 marks. The data is presented but not well organized. They're going to give you 1. We don't want 1 mark. We need 2 marks. Tables, or it did say or, graphs included. But I know from marking SBAs previously, and they're still doing it now, that the tables and all the graphs, your teacher needs to see, and I know because the standards that we set in Jamaica is very high for you as students. So I know your teacher needs to see that raw data. Even though CSEC say or, your teacher wants to see that raw data. From working with SBA from 2 schools in Westmoreland, because that's when SBA started, when I was at those 2 schools. Yes, we always want to see that raw data. Yes, and then we want to see how you use charts to analyze that raw data. CSEC say table or charts or graphs, because there's some information that might not be able to presented in graphs at all. You need to put it in the table. All right? So tables or graphs included correctly, labeled and used appropriately. Now, when we talk about appropriately, there are some information you can use a pie chart to do. Some you can use a bar graph. Some you can use a line graph. You go to Google and you type in, when do you use line graph? It tells you. When do I use bar chart? It tells you. Good? So coming back to this, we have a bar chart. The bar chart, as CSEC states, must be correctly labeled Is this correctly labeled? Do we have all the labels? Do we have the y-axis and the x-axis? Do we have the label to say what the chart is showing? Do we know what the bars are saying? What the blue stands for and what the yellow stands for? Marlon, Dejana, do we have that?
Yes, Miss, that's the key.
Yes. So if you have all of that, then CSEC says give you the 2 marks. But not just being correctly labeled, so you have ticked that, but is the chart used appropriately? CSEC is asking, did you use this chart appropriately? Can a bar chart be used to show these information? Yes. You're comparing the Skittles in bar chart showing comparison between flavors in 2 types of Skittles. Original Skittles and sour Skittles. You're comparing the colors or the flavors. Yes, this bar chart is used appropriately. CSEC says give you the 2 marks. Now you use the pie chart. The number of Skittles in pack 1 from the sour Skittles in pack 2. All right, so we could have added pie chart showing, say that this is a pie chart. Good. And as Moreland says, we have the key. Can you tell me another subject that you use the word key in, that you see key in? Make the link between maths and another subject that you'll see key in.
Miss
Dejana?
Geo.
Thank you. Geography. Good. And then they have another diagram. And then they came to their analysis. Now, let's go back to what CSEC is asking us. To get that 5 marks. This person got the 2 marks. Accurate use of mathematical concepts. Did they use the right mathematical concept in analyzing in what they did? So for me to know, that means I need to see your calculation. What did they calculate here, Dejana?
Miss, they calculated the amount of skills. Wait, the mean number of skittles per type and the mean number.
Yeah. So what they calculated, CSEC is asking, accurate use of mathematical concept. Yes. 5 marks. That's an easy 5 marks. You see, you get 5 marks? Now, this is where I stop with you for tonight. I need to see this. I need to see this from you, Dejana. Dejano and Merlin, I need to see this from you tomorrow, the method of data collection. And then on Thursday,
Miss, I want to see it from it by tomorrow. Miss, and
this is one thing, method. You're telling me how you're going to collect your data. And then Morland, when you get to school tomorrow, please see if you can ask your teacher, do you have admats tomorrow?
Yes, Miss.
See if you can ask your teacher when you'd be able to get that data. All right.
Yes, miss.
All right. So we can't move forward with the presentation of data without the data. And Dejana, when are you when are you sending out your questionnaires to get your data? You can't move forward
Miss,
without
I'm
the
going to
data.
have to, Miss, I have to talk to my group members, them to get it up and running.
Good. And I need to see the questionnaire. So I'll tell you what,
All right.
you won't be bringing anything other than the method of data collection to the table. So on Thursday, we're actually going back to the maths and we're going back to coordinate geometry. So we're going to pick up with with the questions from coordinate geometry. On that
And
note,
Miss, me not send them my, me not send them my one
your
method of
method of data
data
collection,
collection. Yeah, no, you know, so if you did here, today I'm a delete and send it here.
you sent it to me just now.
You send it here from earlier this evening, and
Yeah, but I told you that this method of data collection. You remember when I said to you, you said the questionnaire was shared by group members and friends by all means possible. I asked you
yeah,
how. What
yes,
is all
miss. Me
means?
edit that, miss. Me edit that, miss.
Good. And the data was retrieved from the questionnaires and stored. And I'm not seeing the questionnaire that you use.
Oh, all right. Oh, okay.
Okay. So tomorrow, for Thursday, I'll send you the document that we'll be using for class. All right, so I will go ahead and forward that to you in an email now. Let me see if I can find it right now. We're doing past papers, coordinate geometry. We're continuing. We have done some of the questions. I'll forward it to you. Please see if you can get it printed so you actually be writing. You can edit it, so if you want space in between so you can write your solution on it as you go along, or get it printed so you can literally have it in your book and don't need to write the questions. Does that make sense?
Yes,
Okay. So now let me see if I find my document for you. And I'll send it right away. Okay. So Zoom, I see your SBA. I will tell you about it. I will respond to you in an email. Um, Sometime maybe tomorrow. I'll let you know my response when I think about it. All right, Zoom. Okay, so Zoom, just by looking at it, double space, ensure that your size is okay, good. So double space Zoom and ensure that your size is your font is size 12 and it's Times New Roman. All right, so whatever additional information, I look at it and tell you about it tomorrow or Thursday. I will send you an email with that. Okay, Zoom? It's a pleasure being here with you again at Mathematics Resource Center. In the event that you need support with your SBA, do send your SBA over to us at Mathematics Resource Center. You can also contact us via WhatsApp at 047555136738 via WhatsApp on that number. And if you're going to send us an email, Mathematics Resource Center, MATHEMATICSRESOURCECENTRE at gmail.com. Okay, Mathematics Resource Center at gmail.com. Yes, so that brings us to the end. Oh, let me get that document just to show you what we'll be doing next lesson before we go. Okay, so this document, courtesy of my teammate, Miss Lawrence, thanks to her. So, yes, so this document was compiled. All right, so we have here the past paper questions. So this is what you'll be doing next lesson. Okay, so it's all done in years, and these are all coordinate geometry questions. Okay, well, all right, so this one, well, it's good to have this one being thrown into it. All right, so yes, this is actually the one that we do with completing the square. And since we have done this, definitely you should be able to do that. All right. So these are our coordinate geometry questions. Okay. Mm, Except this one, right? Right. So yeah. So we have the coordinate geometry questions here. hmm Good. And yeah. So all of it, and this was organized specifically for you. Thank you, Miss Lawrence, for doing this. Yes, we have it. We have the coordinate geometry questions. There is a mixture of questions in it that has some relation to coordinate geometry, not not exactly, say for instance, like it will be asking you for gradients or for equation of a line, but it has a relation to coordinate geometry, and she have added those as well. So in the event that you would like a copy of this, you drop me an email again, and I'll definitely just send this over to you. All right. And that's it for today. Have a superb evening. Don't remember to like, subscribe, and definitely share. You cannot be getting all these good information and not share, and not like, and not leave a comment. Please do remember to do that. Let us know what you think about what we did today and if it helped you. And definitely contact us to book an appointment for tutoring or to be a part of our mathematics class, any of the classes we have available. We do have PEP ability class as well as uh, mathematics class at a primary level. And we do have other tutoring options. We do have a calculus course coming up, as well as a foundation course for mathematics coming up in about a month or less. Yes. So we look forward to seeing you joining in on those courses, and we continue to crave your support in sharing and promoting our page. And yeah, have a good night. God bless you. Bye. Bye, Dejano. Bye, Moreland.
Bye. Man, I'm gone already.
Moreland gone already. All right. Tell everyone bye,
Mm.
Dejano. All right.
Bye from Maths
Bye.
Resource Center. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Have a good night, Dejano. Bye, Zoom.
Yes, Zoom later.
All right.